The conference room doors swung open, and every head turned. Cameras flashed. Investors stood. My name echoed through the speakers. Corbin Hale, founder and CEO of Nexus Dynamics. 6 years ago, I was trash they threw out. Today, I was the man they couldn't ignore. But let me back up. Because you need to understand where this started. You need to see what they did to me. Graduation day. Cap and gown. I'd work myself half to death for that moment. 3 jobs. Late nights tutoring kids who actually appreciated me. Volunteer hours at the shelter. My grades weren't perfect, but they were mine. Earned. Real. My parents showed up late. Mom's face looked like she'd swallowed vinegar. Dad wouldn't even look at me. And Kellen, my golden boy brother, smirked like he knew something I didn't. After the ceremony, we gathered outside. My friend Marcus clapped me on the back, proud. My history teacher shook my hand. For 5 minutes, I felt like I mattered. Then Mom's voice cut through everything. You're the ugly high school graduate. She said it loud enough for everyone to hear. People turned. Stared. Honestly, Corbin, we're embarrassed. My throat closed. Marcus froze beside me. Mr. Patterson looked away, uncomfortable. Kellen laughed. Actually laughed. Mom's right. Nobody's going to care about your little accomplishments. You should just disappear. Hi viewers, kindly tell us where you're watching from and what time it is. Warm welcome to the family. Enjoy the story. Dad stepped closer, his voice booming like a judge delivering a sentence. You're not welcome in this family anymore. Pack your things. You're on your own. The world tilted. My diploma felt like paper in my shaking hands. Around me, friends backed away. Teachers pretended not to hear. Even Marcus mumbled an excuse and left. I stood there, drowning in my graduation gown, while my mother's contempt burned holes through my chest. Don't expect a dime from us, she added, flicking imaginary dust off her sleeve. You'll learn what failure feels like. 3 hours later, I was on the sidewalk with 2 duffel bags. Everything I owned fit in 2 bags. 18 years reduced to gym clothes, some books, and a laptop I'd saved 8 months to buy. Kellen waved from the doorway, theatrical and cruel. Good luck out there, loser. Mom stood beside him, arms crossed, satisfied. Dad had already gone inside. I walked, 1 foot in front of the other, down Maple Street, past the Johnsons' house where I used to mow lawns, past the corner store where I'd counted pennies for candy as a kid, past every memory of a childhood that never wanted me. At the intersection, I stopped. My hands were still shaking. My eyes burned, but I refused to cry. Not here. Not where they might see. I turned back one last time. Saw them through the window, already laughing about something. Already forgetting I existed. Something hardened inside my chest. Something cold and sharp and unbreakable. I made a promise to myself right there, standing at that intersection with everything I owned on my back. I didn't say it out loud. Didn't need to. But I felt it in every cell of my body. I will rise. And they would watch me do it. What would you do if your own family disowned you on your graduation day? Would you forgive them, or make them regret it? I was 9 when I first realized I was invisible. Kellen won the district spelling bee. Mom threw a party. Balloons everywhere. Cake with his face on it. Neighbors crowded our living room, praising him like he'd cured cancer. I'd won the school science fair that same week. Built a working model of the solar system with lights and motors. Took me 3 months. Cost me every dollar from mowing lawns. Nobody mentioned it. Not once. Dad walked right past my project sitting in the hallway. Stepped over it to hug Kellen. Mom saw it, looked away, served more cake. I stood in the corner, holding my 3rd place ribbon. 3rd place out of 300 kids. It felt heavy in my hand. But in that room, it might as well have been invisible. Why don't they see me? I asked my teacher the next day. Mrs. Chin looked at me with sad eyes. Some people only see what they want to see, Corbin. But I see you. That helped. For about a week. Then came Kellen's football games. Every Friday night, Mom and Dad screaming in the stands. Face paint. Signs with his number. Dad bought a camera just to film him. I had a school play. I'd landed the lead role. Practiced for months. Opening night, I searched the crowd for them. Empty seats. They were at Kellen's practice. A practice. Not even a game. Afterward, Mom said, "Oh, was that tonight?" "Sorry, honey." But her voice was flat. Empty. Like she was reading from a script she didn't care about. Birthdays were worse. Kellen got parties at expensive restaurants. Presents stacked high. Friends invited from 3 counties over. My birthdays? Dinner at home. A card. Maybe. One year they forgot completely. Remembered 3 days later and handed me $40 like that fixed it. I saved that $40. Added it to my stash hidden in a shoebox under my bed. By the time I was 16, I had $1,200 saved. Every penny from odd jobs, birthday money, coins found in couch cushions. I counted it every night. Each bill was proof I existed. Proof I could build something they couldn't take away. Kellen caught me once. "What's that for, loser?" "Planning to run away." "Maybe," I said. Didn't even look up. He laughed and left. Told Mom I was being weird again. She sighed like I was exhausting just by breathing. Senior year, Kellen got a full-ride scholarship. They cried. Actually cried with joy. Dad opened champagne. I got accepted to 3 state schools. Showed them the letters. Mom glanced at them. "That's nice, Corbin. Did you clean your room like I asked?" That night, I stopped hoping. Something in me just clicked off. I stopped waiting for them to notice. Stopped performing for approval that would never come. I focused on my money instead. Got a job at the grocery store. Nights and weekends. Saved every check. Researched business strategies online. Read articles about people who built empires from nothing. If they wouldn't invest in me, I'd invest in myself. Graduation approached. I worked harder. Triple shifts sometimes. Studied between customers. Applied for scholarships they never asked about. Won 2 of them. Small ones. $500 each. It felt like winning the lottery. I wanted to tell them. Part of me still hoped. Still believed that maybe this time would be different. But the night before graduation, I overheard them in the kitchen. "At least Corbin's finally done," Mom said. "Then we can stop pretending to care." Dad laughed. "Think he'll actually make something of himself?" Doubtful. Kids got no drive. No personality. Kellen got all the good genes. I stood in the dark hallway, fists clenched, and made a choice. Tomorrow, I'd walk across that stage for me. Only me. Their opinions died right there in that kitchen. And when they disowned me the next day, I was almost ready for it. Almost. What's the worst thing your family ever said about you when they thought you couldn't hear? The motel room smelled like mold and regret. $40 a night. I had enough saved for 2 weeks. After that, I'd figure it out. I had to figure it out. Day 1. Applied to 15 jobs. Fast food. Retail. Warehouses. Anything. My phone stayed silent. Day 3. Got a call back. Night shift at a gas station. $9 an hour. I took it without hesitating. The manager, Rick, looked me over. "You're that kid whose parents kicked him out, aren't you?" Small town. Everyone knew. "Yeah." "Can you work hard and keep your mouth shut?" "Yes, sir." "You're hired. Start tonight." I worked that gas station like my life depended on it. Because it did. Cleaned bathrooms until they sparkled. Organized shelves. Memorized regular customers' orders. Made them feel seen. Mrs. Patterson always bought coffee and lottery tickets at midnight. I had her coffee ready when she walked in. "You're a good kid, Corbin," she said one night. "Don't let anyone tell you different." I wanted to cry. Didn't. Just smiled and said thank you. By day, I applied everywhere else. Got hired at a warehouse. 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Then the gas station, for p.m. to midnight. 2 jobs. 18-hour days. I slept in 4-hour chunks. My body screamed. My eyes burned. But my bank account grew. I found online courses. Free ones. Business management. Investment basics. Marketing strategies. I studied during the dead hours at the gas station. Between customers, I absorbed everything. 3 months in, I'd saved $3,000. 3,000. I started reading about stocks, small investments, watched videos explaining compound interest, learned about startups and venture capital. Marcus, my old friend, texted me. Heard you're doing good, man. Proud of you. First person from my old life to reach out.
It meant something.
Thanks. Just surviving. That's more than surviving, Corbin. That's winning. At the warehouse, I worked under a supervisor named Trent. Lazy. Cut corners. Blamed mistakes on everyone else. I covered for him once. Stupid mistake. He took credit for my work. Got a bonus. Didn't even say thanks. Second time, he tried it again. I went to management first. Showed them documentation. Timestamps. Evidence. Trent got fired. I got his position. Supervisor at 20. Not glamorous. But it was progress. My coworker Jake got jealous. Started spreading rumors. Told management I was stealing.
Complete lie.
They investigated. Found nothing. Because there was nothing. Jake got written up. Avoided me after that. I learned something important. People will try to drag you down. Especially when you're climbing. 6 months in, I moved out of the motel. Found a tiny apartment. $300 a month. 1 room. Hot plate instead of a stove. But it was mine. Nobody could take it away. I furnished it with thrift store finds. A mattress. A desk. A lamp. Kept it clean. Kept it simple. Social media showed me things I tried to ignore. Kellen posted constantly. New car. Expensive restaurants. Trips to beaches I'd never see. He'd tagged our parents. They commented hearts and congratulations. I closed the app.
Clenched my jaw.
Focused on my spreadsheet. My savings. My plan. One night, a stranger walked into the gas station.
Suit.
Expensive watch. Looked out of place. He bought coffee. We talked. He asked what I was studying on my laptop. Investment strategies, I said. Market analysis. He raised an eyebrow. At a gas station? Learning doesn't stop because you're working. He smiled. Handed me a business card. I like your attitude.
Call me if you're serious about this.
I might have an opportunity. I looked at the card. Marcus Chen. Investment consultant. Same last name as my old teacher. Couldn't be coincidence. Is Mrs. Chen your mother? I asked. My aunt. She told me to watch for you. Said you were special. My hands shook holding that card. I'm serious, I said. More serious than you know.
Good.
Call me Monday. He left. I stared at that card until my shift ended. When I got home, I pulled out my savings. $5,000 now. $5,000 I'd earned while they'd forgotten I existed. Monday morning, I made the call that would change everything. Have you ever had someone believe in you when no one else did? Drop a comment below. Marcus Chen's office was nothing like I expected. Small.
Cluttered.
Papers everywhere. But the man himself radiated quiet confidence. You showed up early, he said, checking his watch. Good sign. I don't waste opportunities. My aunt said you were hungry.
Prove it.
Tell me your story.
So I did.
The disownment. The grinding work. The self-education. The $5,000 I'd saved. He listened without interrupting. When I finished, he leaned back. 5,000 isn't much in this world, Corbin. But it's a start. What do you want to do with it? Grow it. Learn from it. Build something that can't be taken away. All right. I'll make you a deal. I'll teach you. Mentor you. Connect you with opportunities. But you do exactly what I say. No shortcuts. No gambling. No get-rich-quick schemes. Real work only.
Deal.
He pulled out a folder. This is a startup looking for small investors.
Tech company.
App development.
They need seed money.
High risk, but I've analyzed their model. I think they'll succeed. Put in 2,000. My stomach flipped. 2,000. Almost half my savings. That's a lot of trust, I said. That's what investment is. Calculated trust. Your choice. I thought about my parents, about Kellen's smirk, about sleeping in a motel wondering if I'd survive. I'm in. 3 months later, that investment doubled. 4,000 became 8,000. I nearly cried when Marcus showed me the numbers. Don't celebrate yet, he warned. This is just the beginning. Reinvest.
Diversify.
Stay smart. I did. He introduced me to other investors. Small networks of people building wealth slowly, carefully. I attended meetings, asked questions, absorbed strategies. My warehouse job continued. My gas station shifts continued. But now I had purpose beyond survival. I had direction. Kellen's social media got louder. New business venture. Big investor backing. He was opening a consulting firm. Dad invested heavily. Mom posted about her successful son daily. Not once did they mention me. Not once did they wonder if I was alive. Good. I preferred it that way. My apartment got slightly better. I bought a rail bed, a coffee maker, small luxuries that felt like kingdoms. At work, my manager noticed something. Corbin, you're different lately. More focused. Just working toward something. Whatever it is, keep doing it. I'm promoting you to operations coordinator. More responsibility. More money. More opportunity. One evening, Marcus called. I've got someone who wants to meet you. Potential partner. She's looking for someone hungry and smart. I told her about you. When? Tomorrow. 6 p.m. Wear something decent. I owned one decent outfit. Thrift store slacks and a button-down. I ironed them 3 times. The meeting was at a downtown cafe. The woman, Diane Rodriguez, was sharp as glass. Early 40s. Built her own marketing firm from scratch. Marcus says you're worth my time, she said. Convince me. I pitched her my idea. Something I'd been developing for months. An app connecting small businesses with freelance workers. Gig economy stuff. Simple. Practical. She listened. Asked hard questions. I answered honestly. When I didn't know something, I said so. You're green, she said finally. But you're honest. And you've got hunger. I like that. I'll invest 20,000 if you can match 5,000. Everything I had left. I need 3 days to think, I said. You've got 2. That night, I barely slept. This was it. The leap. The risk that could launch me or destroy me. I called Mrs. Chen, my old teacher, Marcus's aunt. He's giving you a real shot, Corbin. But only you can decide if you're ready. What if I fail? Then you fail forward. You learn. You rebuild. But if you don't try, you'll always wonder. Next morning, I called Diane. I'm in. Smart choice. We start Monday. I hung up and stared at my phone. My bank account now showed $800. Everything else was invested in myself. Across town, Kellen posted about his new office. Leather chairs. Glass walls. Company logo. I smiled. Let him have his moment. Mine was coming. Would you risk everything you had for a chance at building something real? Let me know in the comments. Launch day felt like jumping off a cliff, hoping you'd grow wings on the way down. The app went live at midnight. Diane and I had worked 16-hour days for 3 months. Coding, testing, marketing, building partnerships with local businesses. We called it TaskBridge. Simple name. Simple concept. Connect people who needed work done with people who could do it. Lawn care, handyman services, tutoring, graphic design, everything. First week, 12 users signed up. 12. I'd hoped for hundreds. Patience, Diane said. Rome wasn't built in a day. But patience felt impossible when every dollar mattered. When my apartment rent was due and my savings account showed double digits, I picked up extra warehouse shifts, slept 4 hours a night, promoted TaskBridge everywhere. Gas station customers, warehouse workers, random people at coffee shops. You seem desperate, one guy said. I am desperate. I'm also right. This works. Try it. He did. Hired someone to fix his fence through the app. Left a 5-star review. 1 review became 2. 2 became 10. 10 became 50. Month 2, 500 users. Money started trickling in. Not much, but enough to breathe. Then Jake appeared. My old coworker. The one who'd tried to frame me for stealing. He'd started his own app. Nearly identical to mine. Called it Quick Task. Looks familiar, Marcus said darkly, showing me Jake's website. He copied everything. Welcome to business. People steal. Question is, can you compete? Jake had more funding. Better marketing. His dad owned a local advertising firm. Suddenly, Quick Task posters were everywhere. Our user growth stalled. People jumped to the competition. Diane panicked. We're losing ground. We need a pivot. Something different. I spent 3 days barely eating, barely sleeping, just thinking. What could we offer that Jake couldn't? What made us different? Then it hit me. Verification, I said. Background checks. Ratings that matter. Jake's app is quantity. Will be quality. Verified professionals only. That'll cost money we don't have. Then we find it. I'll handle it. I went back to Marcus. Pitched the verification system. Explained how it would build trust, separate us from competitors. You need 15,000, he said. I can get you 8. Find the rest. I reached out to everyone. Small investors, Marcus had introduced me. Business owners who'd used TaskBridge. Even Mrs. Chun contributed $500. We scraped together 14,000. Close enough. The verification system launched. We lost half our existing users. They didn't want to go through background checks. Didn't want accountability.
Good.
We didn't want them anyway. But the users who stayed were golden. Professionals. Reliable people. Quality workers. Quality clients. Word spread. TaskBridge became known as the trustworthy one. News outlets noticed. Local paper ran a feature. Young entrepreneur builds trust in the gig economy. They interviewed me. Asked about my background. I kept it vague. Focused on the work. But someone sent the article to Kellen. I know because he posted about it. Mocking. Dismissive. My brother's little app thing.
Cute.
Real business is about scale, not trust. His consulting firm was doing well. He'd landed several major clients. Dad bragged about it at the country club, according to mutual acquaintances. Mom told people Kellen was destined for greatness. Still no mention of me. Still no calls. No emails. No acknowledgement I existed.
Fine.
I fed their silence, like fuel into a fire. Month 6, TaskBridge hit 5,000 users. Revenue, $40,000. After expenses, I took home $15,000 in profit. More money than I'd ever imagined. I paid Diane back first. Paid Marcus his consultation fees. Paid Mrs. Chun double what she'd invested. Then I stood in my tiny apartment, staring at my bank statement, and just breathed. But I couldn't celebrate long.
My phone rang.
Unknown number. Corbin Hale? Speaking. This is Trevor Walsh, Venture Capital. We've been watching TaskBridge. Impressive growth. We'd like to discuss investment opportunities. Significant opportunities. My hands shook. How significant? $250,000 to start. Possibly more depending on trajectory. I closed my eyes. Exhaled. Open them. Let's talk. I hung up and walked to my window.
Looked out at the city lights.
Somewhere out there, my family was living their lives without me. They had no idea what was coming. What would you do if success came knocking after everyone had counted you out? Comment below. Trevor Walsh's office made Diane's look like a closet. Floor-to-ceiling windows. Manhattan skyline views. Furniture worth more than my first car. Corbin Hale, he said, shaking my hand. The kid who built TaskBridge from a gas station. You did your research. Always do. Your story's compelling. Disowned at 18. Built a profitable company in under a year. That's the narrative investors love. Something about his tone bothered me. It's not a narrative. It's my life. He smiled. Even better. Authenticity sells. Here's the offer. $250,000 for 30% equity. We'll scale you nationally. Marketing. Infrastructure. Everything. I dreamed of this moment. But sitting there, something felt off. What's the catch? No catch. We want control of branding decisions, marketing direction, hiring, standard stuff. So, I build it, you run it? We optimize it. You're good at creation, Corbin. We're good at scale. I thought about my apartment, my ramen dinners, the nights wondering if I'd make rent. I need time to think. You've got 48 hours. After that, we move to the next opportunity. I called Marcus from the lobby, explained everything. They want to take your baby and dress it up for prom, he said. Question is, are you okay with that? I don't know. Then don't decide yet. But remember why you started this.
Control.
Independence. Don't give that away unless you're sure. That night, a reporter from Tech Weekly called. They'd heard about TaskBridge. Wanted to do a feature story. We're interested in the founder's journey, the human element, where you came from. I hesitated. Talking about my family meant opening old wounds. I built TaskBridge to prove something to myself, I said carefully. That hard work and integrity matter more than where you start. But where did you start? Our research shows some interesting family dynamics. They'd been digging. Of course they had. My family, and I don't speak. That's all I'll say about them. Fair enough. But readers love underdog stories. The self-made angle. The article published 3 days later. Disowned teen builds tech empire. They'd found everything. The graduation. The disownment. Even tracked down Marcus's quotes about my relentless work ethic. It went viral. Shared thousands of times. Comments flooded in. Support. Encouragement. People sharing their own rejection stories. Then Kellen's company made the news. Local consulting firm under investigation for fraudulent practices. I read the article twice. Kellen had promised clients returns he couldn't deliver. Misrepresented credentials. Cut corners on contracts. His perfect image was cracking. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Corbin? It's Dad. My blood froze. We saw the article. About your company. We had no idea you were doing so well. 6 years of silence. Now this. What do you want? Just to talk. To reconnect. We made mistakes, son. We see that now. I'm not your son. You made that clear at graduation. We were angry. Frustrated. We didn't mean. Yes, you did. You meant every word. I hung up, hands shaking, heart pounding. Minutes later, Mom texted. Please call us. We want to make this right.
Delete.
Kellen messaged on social media. Bro, we need to talk. Family's everything. Block. They'd had 6 years to reach out. 6 years to apologize. To check if I was alive. They'd waited until success made me visible. I turned off my phone and went back to work. 2 days later, I declined Trevor's offer. Instead, I took a smaller investment from a group Marcus connected me with. $75,000 for 15% equity. Less money. More control. You just turned down $250,000, Diane said, shocked. I turned down losing myself. There's a difference. TaskBridge kept growing.
Slowly. Steadily.
On our terms. And somewhere across town, Kellen's empire was starting to crumble. Have you ever turned down something everyone else wanted because it didn't feel right? Share your story below. The next 18 months blurred together. TaskBridge expanded to 12 cities. Hired a team of 20. Revenue hit $500,000 annually. I moved into a real apartment. 2 bedrooms. Actual furniture. A kitchen with a stove. Small luxuries that felt monumental. Marcus became more than a mentor. He became family. Sunday dinners at his place. Advice on everything from investments to life. His aunt, Mrs. Chun, joined sometimes. She'd tear up seeing how far I'd come. I always knew you were special, she'd say. You were the only one. Diane and I became genuine partners. 50-50 split. Equal voices. We argued sometimes, but always found compromise. Built something neither of us could have built alone. TaskBridge got written up in Forbes. Wall Street Journal noticed us. Investors started calling unsolicited. My parents tried reaching out through mutual acquaintances. Friends from high school would message. Your mom asked me to tell you she misses you. I never responded. Their silence had taught me everything I needed to know about conditional love. Kellen's consulting firm collapsed. Bankruptcy filed. Lawsuits from angry clients. Dad had invested heavily. Lost most of it. I heard through the grapevine. Kellen moved back in with them. 28 years old, living in his childhood bedroom. The golden boy tarnished. Part of me wanted to gloat. Call them. Send articles about my success. Rub it in their faces. But another part, the part that had grown through struggle, just felt tired. Revenge was empty. Success was sweeter when it stood alone. I focused on building instead. TaskBridge launched a scholarship program. Helped kids from low-income backgrounds learn tech skills. Gave them opportunities I'd had to claw for. 10 kids in the first year. We paid for their courses.
Mentored them.
3 got jobs at major companies. 2 started their own businesses. That felt better than any revenge. One evening, I ran into Marcus at a coffee shop. He wasn't alone. A woman sat across from him. Professional. Sharp suit. She looked familiar. Corbin, Marcus called. Come here. There's someone you should meet. The woman stood. Extended her hand. Catherine Walsh. Trevor's sister. I've heard a lot about you. My guard went up immediately. I declined your brother's offer. I know. Smart move. He wanted to get your company and resell it. I'm not him. I invest in people, not just products. We talked for an hour. She'd built 3 successful startups. Sold 2.
Kept 1.
She understood the grind, the sacrifice, the need to maintain control. I'm not offering money, she said. I'm offering connections, mentorship, partnership if you want it. No strings, no equity demands. Why? Because Trevor's approach burns bridges. I prefer building them. And your story matters. Not for marketing, for real. I studied her face, looking for the angle, the catch. I'll think about it. That's all I ask. She left her card. Real wood. Expensive. Catherine Walsh, Strategic Partnerships. That night, my phone rang. Dad again. I'd changed numbers twice. He still found me. Corbin, please. Your mother's sick. She wants to see you. Sick how? Heart problems. Stress. The doctors say. The doctors say stress? Maybe from watching Kellen's company collapse? From losing their investment? Silence. We need family right now, he said quietly. You should have thought about that 6 years ago. I hung up, but this time my hands didn't shake. My heart didn't race. I just felt nothing. Days later, Mrs. Chin asked about it. I told her everything. How do you feel? She asked. Empty. They were never really my family.
I just wanted them to be.
And now I have people who chose me. Marcus.
Diane. You.
That's worth more than blood that never wanted me. She hugged me. You're absolutely right. TaskBridge hit 40 cities. 1 million users. Revenue. 2.3 million annually. I bought a house. Small. 3 bedrooms. A yard. Nothing extravagant. But mine. Earned. Built from nothing. The first night there, I sat on the porch and just breathed. Watched the sunset. Felt the weight of 6 years lift off my shoulders. My phone buzzed. Text from Kellen. Congratulations on the house. Saw the pictures online. Must be nice. I stared at that message for 5 minutes. Then typed. It is. Earned every inch of it.
Delete.
Never sent it. He didn't deserve my words. But as I sat there, watching stars appear, I realized something. I'd won. Not by destroying them, by building something they couldn't touch. And that was enough. Would you reconnect with family who only came back after you succeeded? Let me know what you think. The conference room doors swung open. Cameras flashed. Investors stood. My name echoed through the speakers. Corbin Hale, founder and CEO of Nexus Dynamics.
Wait.
Let me explain Nexus dynamics. 6 months after Catherine Walsh and I partnered, we'd expanded beyond TaskBridge, created an umbrella company, multiple apps, multiple revenue streams. TaskBridge became our flagship, but now we had tutoring platforms, freelance marketplaces, skill-sharing networks. Nexus dynamics. Building connections. Creating opportunities. The conference was massive. Tech innovators from across the country. I was keynoting. 29 years old. Keynoting a national conference. I walked to the stage. Spotted Catherine in the front row. She nodded. Marcus beside her, grinning. Diane recording on her phone. My family. The one I built. 6 years ago, I was disowned on my graduation day. Told I'd never amount to anything. Today, Nexus Dynamics serves 3 million users across 48 states. Revenue, 15 million annually. Applause erupted. I waited for it to quiet. I'm not telling you this to brag. I'm telling you because rejection isn't the end. It's fuel. Every person who doubted me, who dismissed me, who laughed at my ambition, they gave me something valuable. They gave me motivation. More applause. But I wasn't done. But here's the real lesson. Success isn't about proving people wrong. It's about proving yourself right. It's about building something that matters, regardless of who's watching. The speech went viral. Clips everywhere. Comments flooded in. Messages from people sharing their rejection stories, their comebacks, their victories. One message stood out. From a teenager in Michigan. My parents kicked me out last month. Your story gives me hope. Thank you. I replied personally. Connected him with resources, with mentors, with a support system I'd wish I'd had. After the conference, a reporter cornered me. Your family's financial troubles have been public. Your brother's bankruptcy. Your parents' losses. Do you have any comment? I wish them well. That's all. Would you help them financially if asked? I paused. Thought carefully. I believe people should live with the consequences of their choices. They taught me that lesson. I learned it well. The reporter's eyes lit up. That quote made headlines. Tech CEO to struggling family. Live with your choices. It sounded harsher in print. But I didn't apologize. Truth rarely sounds pretty. That evening, Kellen called. Actually called, not texted. That was cruel, Corbin. They're struggling. Mom's medical bills are piling up. Dad lost his retirement. And you're parading your success around like what? Like someone who worked for everything they have? Like someone who survived being disowned and mocked? We made mistakes. We get it. But you're being vindictive. I'm being honest. There's a difference. Mom wants to see you. She's in the hospital. Heart surgery scheduled next month. She keeps asking for you. My chest tightened. For a second, just a second, I almost caved. Then I remembered. Graduation day. Her contempt. Her voice calling me ugly. Her satisfaction watching me walk away with everything I owned in 2 bags. Tell her I hope the surgery goes well. That's it? That's all you have to say. What else is there? He hung up. I sat in my hotel room, staring at the city lights below. Catherine knocked. Came in with coffee. Heard your brother called. News travels fast. You okay? Honestly, I don't know.
Part of me wants to help.
Part of me remembers everything. Both can be true. But here's what I know. You don't owe them rescue. You don't owe them redemption. You owe yourself peace. How do I get that? That's something only you can figure out. She left. I sat with that question for hours. My phone buzzed. Email notification. Subject: acquisition offer. Nexus Dynamics. I opened it. Stared at the number. $35 million. A major tech corporation wanted to buy Nexus Dynamics. $35 million. I could pay off my parents' debts with pocket change from that sale. Could set Kellen up. Could fix everything. Or I could decline.
Keep building.
Maintain control. Stay independent. I closed the laptop.
Didn't respond.
Not yet. Some decisions needed time. Some decisions needed clarity. But as I looked out at those city lights, one thing became crystal clear. Whatever I decided, it would be on my terms. Nobody else's. Not my parents'. Not Kellen's. Not society's expectations. Mine. What would you do with $35 million if you'd come from nothing? Share your thoughts below. I declined the acquisition offer. $35 million, and I said no. Diane thought I was crazy. That's generational wealth, Corbin. Never work again money.
I know.
But Nexus is just getting started. We sell now. We cap our potential. I didn't build this to cash out. I built it to matter. Catherine understood. Some people build empires to sell them. Others build legacies. Know which one you are. I was building a legacy. 6 months later, Nexus Dynamics expanded internationally. Canada first, then UK, Australia,
Japan.
Our verified professional model translated across cultures. Trust was universal. Revenue hit $40 million annually. Our team grew to 200 employees. We opened offices in 5 countries. I hired people like me. People who'd been overlooked. Who'd been told they weren't good enough. Our scholarship program expanded. 100 kids annually now. Full tech training. Mentorship. Job placement. 3 of them now worked for Nexus. Not because of charity. Because they earned it. Marcus called one morning. You've done something rare, Corbin. You've built something ethical in an industry full of sharks. I'm proud of you. Couldn't have done it without you. You absolutely could have. I just gave you the first push. You did the climbing. That conversation meant more than any acquisition offer. But life had one more twist planned. Mom's surgery happened. I heard through Mrs. Chun, who'd stayed in touch with some old neighbors. The surgery went well. Mom was recovering. Dad had taken a second mortgage on the house to cover bills. I felt nothing hearing that. No satisfaction. No guilt. Just nothing. Then a lawyer contacted me. Certified letter. Official letterhead. My parents were suing me, claiming I owed them financial support. That they'd raised me, invested in my upbringing, and now that I was successful, I had legal obligation to help. I laughed. Actually laughed reading that letter. Called my lawyer immediately. Can they do this? They can try, but they disowned you.
Publicly.
Multiple witnesses. You owe them nothing legally or morally.
Good.
Fight it.
I want this documented.
Every detail. The lawsuit became public. Media frenzy. Tech CEO's parents sue for support after disowning him. Public opinion was mixed. Some people said, I should help. Family is family. Others said they'd made their bed. I didn't engage. Didn't comment. Let my lawyers handle it. But I did one thing. I released a statement through Catherine. 6 years ago, my parents disowned me publicly on my graduation day. They called me ugly, worthless, and told me I'd fail. I survived homelessness, worked 3 jobs, and built a company based on integrity and hard work. I owe them nothing except the lesson that rejection can become rocket fuel. This lawsuit proves they haven't learned that lesson yet. The internet exploded. The lawsuit got dismissed within weeks. Judge ruled in my favor. Stated clearly, parents who disown children cannot claim financial obligation when those children succeed. Legal precedent. My case would help others in similar situations. Dad called after the ruling. I answered this time. Wanted to hear what he'd say. You destroyed us, he said. Voice broken.
Defeated. No. You destroyed yourselves.
I just refused to save you from consequences. We're losing the house, Corbin. Everything we built. Everything you built by ignoring one son and destroying the other? That house was never home. Not to me. Your mother cries every day. She should have thought about that before calling me ugly in front of everyone I knew. Silence. Heavy. Suffocating. I was wrong, he whispered finally. We were wrong. About everything. You were never the problem. We were. Those words. 6 years too late. But there they were. Thank you for saying that. But it doesn't change anything. I know. I just needed you to hear it. He hung up. I sat there, phone in hand, feeling something shift inside. Not forgiveness. Not reconciliation. But closure. The kind that comes from hearing truth acknowledged, even when it's too late to matter. Catherine texted. Saw the news. How are you feeling? Free. I typed back. Finally free. That night, I gathered my real family. Marcus, Diane, Catherine, Mrs. Chun, and key Nexus team members. We celebrated not the lawsuit victory, but 5 years of building something real. To second chances, Marcus toasted. And to the family we choose. To proving that where you start doesn't define where you finish, Diane added. I raised my glass, looked around at faces that had chosen me, believed in me, invested in me when blood relatives wouldn't. To all of you, for seeing me when I was invisible. We drank. We laughed. We shared stories of struggle and victory. And somewhere across town, my biological family faced consequences I hadn't created. They'd built their own cage 6 years ago. I just refused to unlock it. Have you ever had to choose between helping family who hurt you or protecting your peace? What did you choose? 5 years later. Present day. I'm standing at a floor-to-ceiling window in Nexus Dynamics headquarters. 40-story building. We own 15 floors. The company's worth $200 million now. We employ 700 people globally. Our scholarship program has helped 500 kids escape poverty. But the numbers don't matter as much as I thought they would. What matters is the impact. The lives changed. The opportunities created. The message sent. Rejection isn't fatal. My phone buzzes. Text for Marcus. Board meeting in 10. Ready? Always. I'm CEO, but I run Nexus with a full board now.
Diane COO.
Catherine's our strategic advisor. Marcus sits on the board. Mrs. Chun consults on our educational programs. We built something together. That's the real victory. My parents lost their house eventually. Downsized to an apartment. Kellen works retail management now.
Decent job.
Honest work. Maybe he finally learned something. They don't contact me anymore. The lawsuit killed whatever bridge might have existed. I'm at peace with that. But here's the thing nobody tells you about success. It doesn't heal old wounds. It just gives you resources to process them. I still have moments. Times when I see fathers hugging sons at graduation ceremonies and something twists in my chest. Times when I hear mothers praising their children and I remember mine never did. Therapy helps. I found a good therapist. Worked through the abandonment, the rejection, the years of feeling invisible. Learned that their failure to love me wasn't my fault. Never was. I date now.
Slowly. Carefully.
Learning to let people in after years of walls. Met someone 6 months ago.
Zara.
She's a teacher. Doesn't care about my money or success. Cares about who I am when everything else strips away. That's new. That's healing. Nexus just launched a mental health initiative. Free counseling for gig workers. For people grinding between jobs like I did. For people society forgets. Because I remember what forgotten feels like. Last week, I got an email from that teenager in Michigan. The one I'd helped years ago after the conference. He just graduated college. Got hired at Google. Wants to pay it forward like I did for him. That's the legacy. Not the money. Not the buildings or the headlines. The ripple effect of refusing to let rejection win. I walk into the board meeting. Everyone's there. Diane's presenting Q4 numbers. They're strong. Catherine's negotiating new international partnerships. Marcus is reviewing investment strategies. Before we start, I say, interrupting the usual flow, I want to say something. Everyone stops. Looks at me. 10 years ago, I was sleeping in a motel, wondering if I'd survive. Today, we're changing lives globally. And none of this happened because I was special or talented or destined. It happened because I refused to accept their version of my story. Diane smiles. You going somewhere with this?
Yeah.
We're doubling the scholarship program. 1,000 kids next year. And we're starting a mentorship initiative. Connecting every scholarship kid with someone who's been where they are. Marcus nods. That'll cost us. I know.
Do it anyway.
Money's just a tool. Impact is the goal. The board approves unanimously. Meeting ends. I go back to my office.
Sit at my desk.
Look at the photo on the shelf. It's from 6 years ago. Me standing outside my first apartment, holding the keys, grinning despite having nothing. I keep that photo as a reminder. Not of where I was, but of who I was. Someone who refused to quit. Someone who turned pain into purpose. My phone rings. Unknown number. I answer. Corbin Hale? Speaking. This is Channel 7 News. We're doing a documentary on entrepreneurs who overcame adversity. Your story keeps coming up. Would you be interested in participating? I think about it. About sharing the full story. The disownment. The struggle. The victory. Only if we can use the platform to help others, I say. Only if it's not about me, but about what's possible. Absolutely. That's exactly the angle we want. Then yes, let's do it. I hang up and look out at the city. Somewhere out there, someone's getting disowned today. Someone's being told they're not good enough. Someone's feeling invisible. And maybe they'll hear my story. Maybe it'll give them hope. Maybe they'll realize that rejection is just redirection. That's why I share it. Not for validation. For inspiration. I grab my jacket. Head home. Sarah's cooking dinner tonight. We're watching some documentary she's excited about. Normal life. Simple life. The life I built from nothing. As I walk out, I pass our lobby. There's a new plaque on the wall. Company motto, something I wrote last year. Where you start is not where you finish. Your past is your fuel, not your prison. I smile. Leave the building. Step into the evening air. And for the first time in my entire life, I feel completely whole. Not because I proved them wrong, but because I proved myself right. I am not their reflection. I am my own masterpiece. If this story touched you, if you've ever been told you weren't enough, drop a comment and share your journey. Your story matters. Your comeback is possible. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss inspiring stories like this. Let's build a community of people who refuse to let rejection write their ending. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Together, we rise. See you in the next one. Kira looked different. Not worse, exactly. She was still beautiful in that polished, filtered way, but something behind her eyes had changed. The confidence I remembered was cracked around the edges. She ordered a latte she barely touched. I got black coffee and waited. "Thanks for meeting me," she said, voice smaller than I'd ever heard it. I said nothing. She'd called this meeting. She could do the talking. "I saw your business online. You're doing really well." She picked at her napkin, shredding it into tiny pieces. "Mom and Dad don't know I'm here." "Good." She flinched. "Rowan, I wanted to apologize. For everything. For how we treated you." The words felt rehearsed. Like she'd practiced them in the mirror until they sounded sincere enough. "Why now?" I asked. "It's been almost 3 years. Because I'm getting married and she stopped, swallowed hard. "I need a wedding planner. And you're the best one I could find." There it was. The real reason. I laughed. Actually laughed, and she looked shocked by it. "You're unbelievable. You humiliated me at my graduation, ignored me for years, and now you want me to plan your wedding. I'll pay you double your rate. Triple even." "I don't need your money, Kira. Please." Her voice cracked. "Mom and Dad are controlling everything. They hate my fiancé, they're trying to turn it into their event, and I need someone who'll listen to what I actually want." For 1 second, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. "No. Rowan, you made your choice. Live with it." I stood up, dropped a 5 on the table for my coffee, and walked out. My hands shook the whole drive home. Emma was waiting at my apartment, already knowing I'd need her. She wrapped me in a hug and didn't ask questions until I was ready to talk. I said no, I told her, and it felt good. "I'm proud of you." That night, lying in bed, Emma rolled over to face me. "I've been thinking about something." "What?" "Marry me." I sat up so fast I nearly fell out of bed.
What?
She laughed, pulling me back down. I'm serious. I love you.
You love me.
Why wait? Emma, You don't have to answer now. Just think about it. She kissed my forehead. I want to build a life with you. A real one. The kind your family never gave you. I pulled her close and buried my face in her hair, feeling something huge and terrifying and wonderful expand in my chest. 3 weeks later, I proposed properly. Got down on one knee in that same coffee shop where we met, with a ring I'd saved 6 months to buy. She said yes before I even finished asking. Planning our wedding felt different from every other event I'd organized. This wasn't about impressing clients or building my business. This was about us. About creating something that reflected who we were and what we'd survived to get here. Guest list, 50 people. Friends, mentors, colleagues who'd supported us. People who actually cared. My parents weren't on it. Neither was Kira. Emma asked once if I was sure, and I was. They had their chance to be family, I said. They chose not to take it. Have you ever had to cut toxic family out of your life? How did it feel? The morning of my wedding, I woke up without an alarm for the first time in years. Sunlight poured through the window of the hotel suite. Riley was already handling vendor arrivals. Everything was organized down to the minute because that's what I did. I controlled the chaos. Except I wasn't nervous. I was calm, happy,
free.
My phone buzzed. Text from Barbara. So proud of you, kiddo. See you at 2. Another from Dr. Park. Remember to breathe and be present. You've earned this. One from Marcus. Don't trip walking down the aisle, man. I got dressed slowly, carefully. Navy suit that actually fit. Tie Emma helped me pick. Shoes I'd polished until they gleamed. The venue was perfect. String lights wrapped around trees, flowers everywhere, white chairs arranged in neat rows. Our friends were already arriving, laughing and hugging, filling the space with warmth. I stood at the altar and watched people file in. Colleagues from the library, clients who'd become friends. Dr. Matthews from economics, who'd given me that post-it note that changed everything. No parents in the third row. No sister filming everything for social media clout. Just people who actually cared whether I was happy. Emma appeared at the end of the aisle, and my breath caught. She was stunning. Simple dress, hair down, smile brighter than any chandelier. She walked toward me, and I felt tears threatening. But these were good tears. Happy ones. Hi, she whispered when she reached me. Hi, I whispered back. The ceremony was short. We'd written our own vows, kept them simple and honest. I promise to see you, I said. Really see you. Every day. The way you saw me when I couldn't see myself. Emma's voice shook. I promise to be your family. The one you choose. The one you deserve. When we kissed, everyone cheered, and I felt something shift inside me. Some old wound finally closing. The reception was exactly what we wanted. Good food, better music, people dancing without caring who was watching. I looked around at the celebration we'd built and realized something profound. Absence could be a gift. My parents' absence meant no criticism, no comparison, no performance. Just love. Just us. Riley pulled me aside during dinner. Hey, boss. There's someone at the gate asking to see you. Says she's family. My stomach dropped. Who? Didn't give a name. Just said it was important. I looked at Emma. She squeezed my hand. Want me to come?
No.
I've got this. I walked to the venue entrance, half expecting my mother's judgment or my father's disappointment. Instead, I found Kira. She wasn't dressed for a wedding. Just jeans and a sweater, mascara smudged like she'd been crying. I know I'm not invited, she said quickly. I'm not asking to come in. I needed to tell you something. What? Mom and Dad are getting divorced. It's ugly. They're fighting over money and property, and I'm caught in the middle of it. She wiped her eyes. And I realized you were right to leave. You were the smart one all along. I felt nothing. No satisfaction, no anger. Just tired recognition of who she'd always been. I'm sorry you're going through that, I said. I really am, but it's not my problem anymore. I know. I just thought you should know you were right about everything. Kira, I didn't leave to prove a point. I left to survive. There's a difference. She nodded, crying harder now. Can you ever forgive me? I thought about it. Really thought about it. Maybe someday, but not today. Today's about my future, not our past. I walked back inside, without looking back. Would you have let her stay? Or was walking away the right choice?
Tell us what you think.
The rest of the reception was pure joy. Emma and I danced until our feet hurt. Friends gave speeches that made us laugh and cry. The cake was chocolate with raspberry filling because we both hated vanilla and weren't afraid to say it. Around midnight, when most guests had left, a small group of us sat around the fire pit the venue had set up. Riley, Marcus, Barbara, Dr. Matthews, and a few others who'd become our chosen family. Tell us a story, Emma said, leaning against me. About when you first started planning events. So, I told them about the wedding with the live goat. About the bride, who changed her mind 6 times about centerpieces. About the groom who fainted during his own ceremony and took out 3 groomsmen like dominoes. Everyone laughed, and it felt good. Easy.
Right.
Barbara raised her glass. To Rowan, who turned pain into purpose and showed us all what resilience looks like. To Rowan, everyone echoed. I felt Emma's hand in mine, warm and steady. My phone buzzed. I almost ignored it, but Emma nudged me.
Check it.
Could be important. Social media notification. Kira had posted something and tagged me. Against my better judgment, I looked. It was a photo of us as kids. Maybe I was 8, she was 6. We were at some beach, building a sandcastle together, both smiling like we actually liked each other. Caption. To the brother I lost because I was too blind to see what mattered. I'm sorry for everything. Congratulations on your wedding. You deserve all the happiness in the world. Comments were pouring in. What happened? Are you okay? Family drama? I showed Emma. She studied it for a long moment. How do you feel? She asked. Honestly, I don't know.
Part of me wants to respond.
Part of me wants to delete the app and forget she exists. What does your gut say? I thought about Dr. Park's advice. About healthy boundaries. About the difference between forgiveness and reconciliation. That she's trying. But trying doesn't erase years of damage. And I'm allowed to protect my peace. Then protect it, Emma said simply. You don't owe her anything. I closed the app and put my phone away. The next morning, Emma and I left for our honeymoon. Nothing fancy, just a cabin upstate with hiking trails and no cell service. We spent a week disconnected from everything, just talking and laughing and planning our future. I want kids someday, Emma said one night, stars spread above us. But I'm scared I'll mess them up. You won't. You'll be amazing. How do you know? Because you know what not to do. And that's half the battle. She kissed me. We're going to build something beautiful. You know that, right? I'm counting on it. What does your perfect future look like? Share your dreams in the comments below. 6 months after the wedding, my business hit a milestone I'd never imagined. 25 weddings booked for the year. 3 assistants on payroll. Office space in a decent building downtown. Reviews calling me the best in the city. Emma's architecture firm was thriving too. We'd bought a small house together, adopted a rescue dog named Pepper, and fell into a routine that felt almost normal. But normal didn't mean easy. Kira kept trying to reach out. Texts, calls, emails. Always apologizing, always asking for another chance. I didn't respond. Not out of cruelty, but out of self-preservation. Dr. Park helped me understand that forgiveness didn't require a relationship. That I could wish Kira well from a distance without letting her back into my life. You're allowed to move on, Dr. Park reminded me. You're allowed to be happy without their approval. Then one Tuesday afternoon, my mother showed up at my office. Riley tried to stop her, but Mom pushed past like she owned the place.
Rowan.
We need to talk. I looked up from my laptop, and for the first time in years, I really saw her. She'd aged. Gray streaked her hair. Lines creased her face. I don't think we do, I said calmly. Your father and I are divorcing. Kira told you, I assume. She mentioned it. It's been difficult. We're dividing assets, fighting over the house, and she stopped, like she expected me to care.
I didn't.
I'm sorry you're going through that, but I'm not sure why you're here. Because you're my son. And I made mistakes. Your father and I both did. She sat down uninvited. We favored Kira. We were cruel to you. And I want to make amends. Why now? After all these years? Because I'm alone. Kira's caught up in her own wedding drama, your father won't speak to me, and I realized I pushed away the one child who actually had his life together. There it was. The truth. She didn't want reconciliation. She wanted convenience. I'm not your backup plan, I said quietly. I'm not the child you turn to when everyone else is unavailable. Rowan, please.
No.
You had 19 years to be my mother. You chose not to. I don't owe you anything now. She looked genuinely shocked, like she'd expected me to fall over myself, welcoming her back. I'm offering you a second chance.
No.
You're asking for one. And I'm declining. I stood up. I have a meeting in 10 minutes. Riley will show you out. Mom's face went through several emotions.
Shock.
Anger. Something that might have been regret. You've become cold, she finally said.
No.
I've become healthy. There's a difference. Riley escorted her out while I stood in my office window, watching her drive away. My phone rang. Emma. How'd it go? She asked. She'd known Mom was coming. I texted her the moment I saw her walk in. I said no. And I meant it. Good.
Come home.
I'm making dinner. I love you. I love you too. Now get home before Pepper eats all the chicken. Have you ever had to set boundaries with family? How did they react? Share below. 2 years after my wedding, I stood in my office, bigger now, with windows overlooking the city, and looked at everything I'd built. A business that was profitable and respected. A marriage that was healthy and happy. Friendships that were genuine and supportive. My parents never called again after that day. Kira sent one final message. I understand. I hope you're happy. You deserve it. I didn't respond, but I appreciated the sentiment. Some wounds heal. Others just stop bleeding. And that was okay. Emma walked into my office, Pepper trotting beside her. Ready to go home?
Yeah.
Let me just finish this email. She leaned over my shoulder, reading what I was typing. Another booking?
Yep.
Spring wedding at the Botanical Gardens. Should be beautiful. You love this, don't you? The planning, the organizing, the making people's dreams real. I do. It's like I get to create the happiness I never had growing up. Does that sound weird?
No.
It sounds perfect. She kissed the top of my head. Come on. Riley can handle the rest. We drove home through the city, Pepper's head out the window, Emma's hand in mine. Our house was small but ours. Every piece of furniture chosen together. Every photo on the wall representing something we'd built from nothing. That night, we sat on our back porch with wine and watched the sunset. Do you ever think about them? Emma asked. Your parents, Kira? Sometimes. But it doesn't hurt anymore. It's just there. Part of my history, not my present. That's growth. That's therapy, I corrected, and we both laughed. My phone buzzed. Message from Barbara. Saw your feature in the wedding magazine. So proud of everything you've become. Another from Riley. Boss, we just got an inquiry for a celebrity wedding. Huge budget. Call me when you can. I put the phone away. That could wait until tomorrow.
Tonight was about this.
About the life Emma and I had created. About the peace I'd fought so hard to find. You know what I realized? I said. They were wrong about everything. I wasn't ugly or worthless or a disappointment. I was just surrounded by people who couldn't see my value. And now I'm surrounded by people who do. And that makes all the difference. Emma raised her glass. To the life they'll never take from us. To the life we chose, I added. We clinked glasses as the sun disappeared below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. Somewhere out there, my parents were probably still fighting over who got what in the divorce. Kira was probably planning a wedding that would never live up to her expectations. But here, in this moment, on this porch, with this woman, I had everything I needed. The wounds of my past had shaped me, but they no longer defined me. I'd built something real, something lasting, something mine, and no amount of absence or cruelty could ever take that away. Thank you for following Rowan's journey from pain to purpose. If this story touched you, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss our next powerful story. Drop a comment below telling us what Rowan's resilience taught you. Your words might inspire someone who needs to hear them today. Remember, your past doesn't define your future. You do.
See you in the next story.